Hello, everybody. I am back and I have, man, I just came from a really, really exciting event that I was asked to participate in Salt Lake City, Utah, with the Arbinger Institute. It was so amazing. It was great. It was absolutely wonderful. And I cannot wait until the footage comes out. So it was a recording for some of their training on, what is it, equity, diversity, and inclusion. And it was just really, really wonderful. It was such a great experience. I'm so glad I did it and that I was asked to be a part of the group. While I was there, I did want to get to these stories, but I just didn't have an opportunity to, but that's okay. Oh, and before I start reading, let me tell you guys. So tomorrow I'm heading to Chicago because, as I mentioned on here before, I will be speaking at the Women of Color Beyond Belief conference. And here's the flyer right there. I'm going to be there with all these and more wonderful women, to talk about what it's like being a Black woman with a secular mindset, how that impacts different areas of our lives. So very excited about that. If you're in Chicago, come on by. It's on Saturday. So I'll be getting out there tomorrow and then coming back Sunday. So it'll be nice. And it's online too, so you don't have to be there in person as well. So, all right. Okay, so 2 stories tonight. The first one, The Brightest Moon, which I love. Absolutely love this story. So let's get started. Okay. The Brightest Moon. So why can't we all just see things the way they are? What's with all the paradoxical talk, the this is all there is, double speak, that there's nothing to find, assertions, and on and on and on? If what's open is if what's true is so open, obvious, not hidden, and right here, why are gurus a dime a dozen and spirituality a gazillion-dollar industry? I think it's because the English language is trash. Actually, that's not true. I love the English language. What I mean is our use and dependence on language to capture all meaning in everything, everywhere, is a terrible travesty. When it comes to seeing things the way they are, seeing has nothing to do with eyes. So right now, with your eyes open, I want you to see without your eyes. Yes, just like that. While you're at it, I also want you to hear without your ears and feel without your sense of touch. Go ahead, keep doing it. I'll wait. Perfect. We seem to be trapped in language, and we don't even realize the word sight is not a prison, but an imaginary line that we can very easily cross over once we notice there's no boundary there. Think of it this way. You've probably heard this analogy before, but here it is again. Imagine a beautiful, clear nighttime sky. There are a billion stars twinkling against an ink black sky and a large, full, pearly white moon shining down on you. You are next to a lake, and you see the bright moonlight shining and shimmering on the surface of the peaceful water. What a beautiful scene. For the sake of illustration, I want you to give attention to the moonlight. It's beautiful. It illuminates the night. It brings in the tides. It summons nocturnal beings and silences those who wander during the brighter hours of the day. The moonlight is important in so many different ways. And it isn't moonlight, it's sunlight. The sun lends its light to the moon. So that's actually sunlight shimmering on the lake, bringing in the tides and turning perfectly normal men into werewolves. But there's a problem. The sun now believes that it belongs to the moon. It's identified itself with the thing or thought upon which it's shining. The thought of moon is an innocent bystander. It has absolutely nothing to do with this belief because it cannot believe, speak, see, hear, shine, illuminate, make a decision, have an opinion, etc. It's the light that's running the show. Because it cannot see itself as the source, the sun, the light believes the moon, our thought, is its source. The light will do whatever it can to protect the moon, our thought, because now it believes it is the moon, our thought. If the moon, thought, dies, it's lights out forever. The light is not the moon. You are not your eyes. You are not your breath. You are not your thoughts. You are not your experiences. You have nothing to do with any of those things. And you have never left yourself, the sun. But at the same time, the thought upon which you are shining, for example, eyes, breath, thought, cannot exist without you. So you are also that thought. There is no moonlight without sunlight. You shine together. This means that anything you see, hear, think, taste, smell, or experience on any level is you. You can call it the moon, a feeling of shame or joy or anger or happiness or hair or bad breath or a stomach ache, but it's all you. Life is a totally private experience. There's no one else here. There isn't even a here. There is only the light, only you. In fact, there isn't even a you. You don't need what you interpret as 5 senses to be alive. You don't need any interpretations to be alive. Life is here before, as, and after 5 senses. You already are. You're already shining, and there's nothing you need or can do about it. End of story. So now, again, this is the first time I'm reading this in years, like the years since I wrote it, okay? And it's funny because at at the event that I was just a part of, there came a part in the conversation where we were talking about being separate. So I remember when I first had the experience that I talk about in Firing God, and I was sitting there and I thought, I probably said it out loud, but I was like, well, what am I supposed to do now? You know, because, you know, that feeling of nothing to do, you know, that I talk about in Firing God, right? Because it's almost like if you're in a play, if you've ever been in a play, okay, and you have the script, you learn your lines, you get on the stage, you're doing all of this stuff that, you know, that the character does, you know, just think of your favorite actor, right? And you're so into it, like you really believe you're that character, okay? And then, I mean, you have the feelings of the character, other people are reacting to you as if you're that character, you know, well, you know, the stuff that happens in movies. And you're so good, and everybody around you is so good, okay, that everybody just begins to believe the movie, okay, believe the script, you know, and are confused, you know, if somebody is off script, you know, because that's not your line. Like, what are you talking about, you know? But one day you discover, hey, wait a second, I'm in a play, you know, like that's not me. Like, I've been acting, yeah, I've been playing this part for 45 years, you know. It's shocking, you know, if you can imagine that. But the idea is you were that part, okay? Because I was telling my son the other day, because he loves Terminator. I mean, he loves Arnold Schwarzenegger, okay? And I was like, well, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Terminator are the same person, okay? You know, and if somebody else tries to play him, ain't nobody gonna be trying to look at that, because that's not who we know him as. All right, when it comes to that character. But there's no way for you to like split if you were playing a character to like pull yourself apart, because you're in there. I mean, everything that you are is also that character. So when we were talking about the diversity and inclusion, right? It's like if I don't know who you are, I don't. I have no idea who you are. But I do have a script, all right, that's either been handed down to me or that I've written myself about a woman, what a woman is, or what a man is, okay, or what a French person is, or what a mother is. I got scripts galore. I mean, script after script after script, child, galore. All right. Now I know that. I know the part that I've assigned to you. I know that. Okay. And if it seems like you're playing that part, then we're here. Like we're on the same page. Okay. We're on the same page. But what's going to have to happen eventually, especially when it comes to, changing the narrative of the way we see diversity and inclusion and all that, is I'm going to have to realize what the hell I'm doing. I'm going to have to realize you don't know that person. You don't. You have a whole script in front of you, okay, that is not true. And I am bringing life to the script, not that person. That's me, because it's my script, okay? So now because of who and what I am, and the idea that I am real, whatever I make, whatever is produced from me, be it my kids, be it my work, the thoughts that I have, the stories that I make, anything, that has to be real too. It has to, because it's my progeny, right? It's born of me, so it's real as well. However, I have to pretend that it isn't. Okay, and I don't want to get all into everything with this, but there's something that we're doing that we don't realize we're doing. Okay, and that the thing that we're doing is very creative. Let me say that. I mean, it's extremely creative. However, if we don't realize that we're doing it, it can get in the way of happiness. It can get in the way of progress. It can get in the way of a whole bunch of things. Okay, and we'll be looking for something else to blame for that. And not realizing that we're doing it. Okay, we're creating the story that is keeping us stuck. All right, so let's go to the next one. All right, this is one of my favorites. Lost and Found in Space. Okay, here we go. I was looking at old pictures the other day that one of my cousins had posted to Facebook. Pictures of my close family, friends, aunts, uncles, and siblings that were taken over 30 years ago. As I looked at them, I noticed the clothes, the hairstyles, the poses, the smiles, and the funny grins. I also noticed the space in the pictures. What happens to space over time, I wondered. Some pictures were taken inside a house, a school, or some other building. Other pictures were taken outside, next to a car or a tree. The house is no longer there and the car is long gone. But is the same space still there? The tree is bigger or has been cut down to make way for an office building or convenience store. But has the space grown or been destroyed in any way? Everyone in the pictures is much older, more wrinkled, less healthy, or a bit saggier, and in some cases deceased. But what about the space between the objects in the pictures? I wondered, is the space in the pictures 30 years older? Has the space shifted and changed like the bodies did? Is the space in the picture subject to the same rules, wrath, and final judgment of time? If I go back to the exact same spot in southern Louisiana where the pictures were taken, will I find a sag or a wrinkle in the space? Will time have made it at least a little less spacious than it was when I was a little girl? Will it have increased or diminished in some way so that whatever passes through that space will not have as easy a time as it did when that picture was taken 30 years ago? Will there be any difference at all between the space of 30 years ago and the fresh, new, unused space in this moment? What's the difference between the space in the picture that was taken 30 years ago and the space that's all around you and me right now? What exactly is the space in the pictures and around you and me right now? Why doesn't it seem as if time has any effect on it? Where does that space end? Where does it begin? Is the space that's here in Virginia, where I'm reading this story, the same space that's in Louisiana, Europe, Asia, and Africa? Is it the same space that surrounds the Earth and Jupiter? Is it ever displaced when another person, planet, or thought is added to the space? Does it resist anything? Does it ever say no? In fact, does it ever say yes? Does it have an opinion? Does it care? Imagine a world without space. That's funny because you need space to imagine. I'm saying all this to support this primary thought. The opposite of anything is not another thing, it's space. The opposite of cold isn't hot, it's space. And the opposite of hot isn't cold, it's space. The opposite of up isn't down, it's space. If anything has an opposite at all, then that opposite is space. Space is synonymous with cause. What causes darkness? What causes light? What causes up? What causes down? What causes air? What causes cells? Without space, none of these concepts would be. Remove all space, and what's left? Words do not cause other words. Ideas cannot oppose other ideas. A cause cannot be at war with another cause. If there is any seeming opposition, it's because the cause and its effect, it's between the cause and its effect. It's between space and its opposite. And I say seeming opposition because why would an effect be at war with its cause? That's madness. The mother of all things is space. The mother of sound, the mother of sight, the mother of fear, the mother of love. Even further, nothing is hidden from space. There's nothing it does not know. There's nothing it does not infuse, carry, encompass, or permeate. Everything is known. Nothing is secret or hidden from space. The stuff all around you right now, it's not what you think it is. It's there when you're awake and when you're sleeping. It's there in your dreams and in your imagination. It's nothing that needs to be worshiped, attained, or feared. It just is what it is. Space is not an experience. It does not come and go. The space in the pictures taken 30 years ago is just as fresh, clean, and innocent as it was at that time. Space isn't something you need to believe. In fact, you can't believe it. You cannot believe what you know here and now. Just look around you. Like truth, no one person or group of people possesses space. Space is not personal. Space has no favorites. Space grants no favors. Space allows all. It's unconditional. It is also alive and intelligent, dead and completely dumb. Oh, and it isn't space, as it's typically defined. Don't take my word for it. It's right there in front of you, behind you, and inside of you, and is you. So see for yourself. So I love this story. I really do. I use it in like everything. Like I use it all over the place, child. I mean, because it's just obvious, right? And something that I talked about in the meeting this weekend is that when it comes to solving problems, you know, our everyday problems, there's really one question to ask, you know, and it's like a coaching question, you know, it's one of those really powerful questions that you ask. And that question is, what are you pretending not to know? We all know the answer to that question, every single one of us. What are you pretending not to know? Okay. Because that practiced ignorance, okay? I mean, the active ways we ignore what is right there is the root of whatever issues we think we have. Whatever issues we think we have, the root of it is we are not telling ourselves the truth, even though it's right there in front of our faces. Okay. We're very good at that. Human beings, the trait, you know, that the most amazing trait that we have is the ability to ignore the obvious. I mean, ignore it so that, you know, like, I mean, it's off the chain. It's off the scale, child. Ignore it right there and just walk around and pretend, you know, just pretend. So if you're really interested, I mean, really interested in finding out why, if the question of why or what or anything like that, any fundamental, you know, what, you know how we always want to know, what's my purpose here, you know, all that stuff. Ask yourself, Cheryl, what are you pretending not to know? And sit with that. Okay. And when you're ready to tell yourself the truth, you will. All right, y'all. So I'm going to be back next time with episode, I think it'll be 5 next time when I come back with 2 more stories from Tales from Eternity. Thanks so much for watching. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so. And I will see you all next time. Bye.